Hello everyone. So I'll begin by sanding down my plank. I got this straight from the sawmill about several weeks ago, so it has had the time to hair dry and get seasoned to an extent. I'll be using this restorer tool I got alongside my atom stack laser when I got some of my tools. The restorer tool sander, it comes with these accompanying wheels and sleeves. The sleeves are sanding paper in the cylindrical form. As you can see, that's how it goes into the machine. Into the machine. I'm referring to the restorer sander as a machine now. These, I'm not sure I would find this in a regular hardware store, so you get to choose which type of wheels and extra sleeves you want to accompany your order. So let's begin sanding this down. I find this restorer tool to be quite efficient. I knew beforehand I might be working with planks like this, not boards, because of where I'm located and the availability of boards. Well, I could get them, but not so readily available. Now here I show how you can switch in. That's the volume, the speed control. So if you want it to go really fast, you want it to be of high intensity, you can always adjust that. To change out the wheels, you can flip that part open, and then yeah, that's another kind of wheel. This I think is a mix of some kind of fiber buff and some sandpaper sandwiched in between. Each of the wheels are adapted for different purposes depending on what you want to use it for. I'm going to use this just for a little while to illustrate how it goes in. It goes in and then you fit it shut. For the sandpaper, the cylindrical sandpaper, that's what I refer to as different sleeves. The sleeves come in different grades, so when you need to switch up the sandpaper grades for a higher grades, lower grades, you could easily do that. You have there's an array of different grades of sandpaper here on the sleeves, so I got different grades. So I've printed out the designs I crafted earlier, and I've decided to go for this pattern. So I'm just using white glue to glue it down, and then I'm going to trace out the pattern with a jigsaw. I intend to double them up for depth, so that's what I'm doing there. So I'm going to double that, put them on top of themselves, and then cut together. I used something to hold them still, but in retrospect I could have cut the dark slices. Maybe I could have cut them first if there was a way to do that. Anyway, if you're doing this at home, please be careful with your fingers. I put the speed at a bit low, so I had full and complete control. I had good control on the saw at that point. That's why I could cut so close. Or you make it a larger piece so you can fully control your cutting. So I'm just going to trace out the pattern, and I have my blocks out now. I would still go on to sand continuously, and would remove the pattern. I'll sand it down completely later on. So it's another day now. My piece is well glued and dry, and it's held well together. I'm going to do some finishing sanding on it now. So there's this technique I use with using my restorer sander, where I turn it over, holding it down with my feet like that, just like that, to mimic a stationary sander. So when I do this, when I need to be gentle with my sanding and for more control, so I'm moving my piece over the sanding tool as opposed to running the tool over it, which when I really need it to go in there and stripe, I do that. But for this, I'll turn it the other way, hold the handle, and so I control the button with my toe this way. It's just an innovative solution to a workshop problem. I do not have a stationary sander or any belt sander right now, so this is what I use when I need my sander to function like this, and it's served me just fine so far. So with this, I reduce the power, and this enables me to control the extent of the sanding and or the striping way much better than if I were to try to and also when my pieces are small like this, it will be so very difficult to hold this down beneath the sander. If I wanted to hold it in its upright position, it just wouldn't work as well. The piece is rather small. So I'm going in with a sanding paper now for the cutout excuse me, for the cutout areas where I can't get the rotary sander, of course, won't go in there. So this just me, okay. So the paint is all dry now, and it's time to peel off the masking. Wow, that came out really well. So I could even finish this off and varnish it at this point. It would probably make a good product all the same. But anyway, the vision and intention I had for this was to have resin inserts within the triangle cutouts. That was my plan for it. So that's what I'll proceed to do now. Those are the items I'll be using: a 2-part resin, my mica powder, some gold film. I intend to use a mix of both. Now the plan was to have UV resin. I wanted to use UV resin to create the mold that would take my resin pour. So I will start with the clear tape, use that to create a temporary frame for the UV resin. So it should be to the bottom and the sides of the cutouts so that it can hold the pour. So I plan to use UV resin because I can cure that right away and in seconds, and then peel off my clear tape. It would frame it right now to hold it just for now, but once it's cured in minutes, I'll be peeling it off, and you'll soon see what comes out. So my UV resin mold it's all done now. It has cured on the sides and the bottom part. I'll go ahead to do my resin pour now. Oh, but then I was thinking, I had a thought to protect my surface with the same clear tape I've been using to protect it against spillages that are bound to happen, and so I don't have to do too much cleaning up afterwards. I'm just realizing I might have made a mistake with this pour. I think I made the portion of my resin with the mica powder way too dense, and I'm seeing now that it's sinking to the bottom. My plan was to have them side by side. The clear pour, the clear resin, the clear golden resin with the gold flakes was supposed to take the majority of the mold, with the mica gold right at the corner, but I don't think it's going to cure like that. So it would seem a follow-up project is in order. Perhaps with the next one, I make it a much larger hexagon and have the slats be a pen holder space with possibly laser cut or resin slats holding the pens in place, like being on either side of the hexagon, you know, like a lace up design or any of such. Okay, we'll leave that for another time. Anyhow, I'll take some shots of this and try to enhance the images, and so we can all see the concept still works. The concept still a good paperweight doth make.